Hi, my name is Nicole Dizon and I'm a part of Group 5, which we will represent or present Chapter 10, which is titled Global Cities. Globalization occurs in physical spaces and moves depending on places because it mainly focuses on where the interconnectedness of information, people, goods, and other services takes place. The result of global cities is cosmopolitanism. So, cosmopolitanism is where an entity belongs to a single community. It is the diversity of goods, informations, people, and even culture. So, different people or races from other places comes to in a single place or the global city where it increases the consumption or the standard of living, and meaning the cost is much higher in the global cities compared to the other city. So they also rely on geographical proximity because places are much more nearer and easier to access, together with the improvement of transportation, which will make it easier and faster to go into several places. Cosmopolitanism has its own downsides as well. So first is high cost, alienation, impersonality, social isolation, and discrimination against migrants. Of course, moving to a place, especially from far away and much more improved, it would definitely cost much more, including the transportation, the moving costs, and much more the differences in the living expenses or standard of living. So next, alienation up to social isolation is where people tend to think that they do not belong in the place that where they move in because they have different cultures, thoughts, and discipline. While also discrimination gives the thoughts of the people or the residents of the place are not accepting those people who move in there because they think that they are different and they do not belong to be living with them. There are also historical precedents of global cities, which they are Imperial City, Free City, and World City. So next is Saskia Sassin is a sociologist where she popularized the term global cities in 1990s, where her bases are more or primarily economic. So next is perspective matters, the globe as unit of analysis, and the global city transcends boundaries of nation states. The globe as the unit of analysis because global cities are the home of people with several culture, thoughts, and disciplines, where the connection and the interaction of these people are um, good to analyze and studied for the further improvement of the city. Global city transcends boundaries of nation states because global cities is the home of people with several cultures, different races, and different train of thought. So these informations are used or utilized for the improvement of the city, where the common or the past procedures and strategies are being improved based on the informations that are being gathered from these people. So, global city being the command centers and finance centers just shows its ability to influence and its connections throughout the globe. So Saskia Sassen also introduced three global cities, which are New York, London, and Tokyo. Both New York and London had stock exchanges, where New York has New York Stock Exchange and London has Financial Times Stock Exchange. While Japan has the Nikkei, or also known as the Nihon Keizai Shimbun, which is an international newspaper company. Defining the global city, arisen as financial centers and producers of services that are global in scope. So it is also post-industrial, where post-industrial means that they are past the industrialization stage, where they now focus in improving their technology and providing services. So the example of post-industrial is Shanghai and Singapore. Manufacturing has been scattered across national and global networks because they cannot stop industrialization, but instead scatter it in different places while also focusing in the centerpiece or center place the improvement of technology and providing services. So they also turn landscapes of production into landscapes of consumption because since they are not already focusing on industrialization consumption, meaning since people are now stuck into single place where almost everything that they need are already in there, the rate of consumption in different things such as information, food, transportation, and living has been much more or it has increased. Mhm. We also have other examples for global cities, such as first, Los Angeles, where it is a movie making mecca, where mecca means that it is a place that attracts people. Next is San Francisco, where it homes the most powerful internet companies such as Google, Facebook, and Twitter. Next, in China, we have Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou, where it is the centers of trade and finance. Next is Sydney, where it commands the greatest proportion of the capital in Australia, while we also have Melbourne, which it rivals Sydney as well. So apart from being financial centers, global cities are also geopolitical power centers where it shows the power how powerful, influential, and the capabilities of the government and political sectors of those cities. So it is also cultural and trend-setting powerhouses where they it shows how influential and how it affects other places or cities, such like Korea, on how it has already touched other places regarding their idol community or the K-pop trend. Next is the higher education hubs where global cities have much improved or enhanced educational systems where um, even exchange students from other places are much more common in here. Next, or lastly, we have the creative industries where regarding the diversities of cultures of the people residing in a global city, they have utilized that to improve or to enhance the daily living or the ways in global cities. We also have the indicators for globality, where first we have the economic power, where it largely tells which cities are global. Next is economic opportunities, where it shows the capabilities of cities to provide opportunities not only for their residents but also for people outside their place as well. Next is the economic competitiveness. So this has criteria for the market size, the purchasing power of the citizens, the size of the middle classes, and the potential for growth of the city. Next, we have center of authority, where it mainly tells the power, the influence, and the um, capacities and capabilities of the government and political sector of each city. So next is the centers of political influence, where it shows the cities which homes the international groups or associations that we commonly know, such as first we have New York for United Nations, Brussels for European Union, Jakarta for as the main where they home the main headquarters for ASEAN, or also known as Association of Southeast Asian Nations. And we also have Frankfurt for European Central Bank, which oversees the euro, the European Union currencies. We have the centers of higher learning and culture, where it says that a city's intellectual influence is seen through the influence of its publishing industry. So we have New York for New York Times, Boston for Harvard University. Next is Australia, where it says that education is their largest export. Copenhagen, Denmark, where it is their culinary capital. Next is Manchester, where it says that it is they have prominent post-punk and new wave bands. And last is Singapore, where it is the cultural hub of Southeast Asia. And lastly, we have cultural power, where since global cities are a place with a diverse culture because of the people residing in it, they have utilized that for all of the people despite their differences in culture and preferences. The cultures of other people can be now accessed through their culinary, through learning and such more, so that people can now enjoy, understood, and experience other people's culture and know them much more.